Welcome to Psalms Layer by Layer, a project of Cambridge Digital Bible Research. I'm Elizabeth. This video introduces our top 3 poetic features for Psalm 1. For those who want to understand the poetic artistry of the Hebrew, this is the next best thing to knowing and studying Hebrew yourself. Psalm 1 we have nicknamed Delight in the Lord's Instruction. The ability of the English word delight to be either a noun, as in my delight is in the Lord's instruction, or a verb, I know I should delight in the Lord's instruction, is one attempt to reflect the play in the Hebrew itself. The psalm celebrates the admired one, whose delight is in the Lord's instruction, as a not-so-subtle attempt at persuading the reader that the reader should also delight in the Lord's instruction. This persuasive intent is woven all throughout the psalm, and particularly in the poetry. Here, we cover the top 3 poetic features that bring out the artistic strategy employed. Number 1, footsteps on a journey. Although verses 1 and 6 have explicit journey language, the image of a journey is not limited to those verses. Rather, the imagery of journey pervades the entire psalm as the predominant image. Poetic elements include repeated words, words with multiple meanings, wordplay, and sound play. The first poetic element is the repeated word derech, which means path or way. This is the explicit journey imagery in verses 1 and 6. In all 3 places, it's used metaphorically of life, as in one's decisions that lead to one's character. Some words have multiple meanings, one which makes sense in the immediate context, and another which makes sense as a journey. In verse 3, the tree, and the man the tree represents, causes to succeed all it does. That same word can be used of causing a journey to succeed. This is one hint that the tree imagery is not a replacement for the journey imagery, but a supplement. Another word with multiple meanings. Tovev means both perish as well as become lost, as in losing one's way on a journey. The way of the wicked will end up lost or come to a dead end. Interestingly, 2 metaphors in English that have similar metaphorical meanings, even if they sound the opposite. The opening word ashrei, happy, both looks and sounds like the word ashure, footsteps. It doesn't take much to imagine almost hearing the footsteps of the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. Well, his footsteps must be showing a different path that he took. Hebrew poetry has some distinctive features, generally speaking. One is that the relative particle, asher, is usually missing. It's a hallmark of Hebrew poetry to not have the particle. In this psalm, however, it is conspicuously repeated 4 times. Its presence becomes more intelligible when we realize it sounds like the Hebrew for footstep. Here, then, are all the indications of a journey, especially the footsteps tracing the path followed in Psalm 1. Our next feature is no standing. Just as the righteous do not stand with the wicked in verse 1, neither will the wicked stand with the righteous in verse 5. The former is true by choice, the latter will be true by the judge's decree. Sound play is one of the most common features of poetry. Here, the sound of the counsel of wicked people, atzath risha'im, is very similar to the sound of the congregation of righteous people, qadat tzadikim. The idea of sound play is to make the reader perceive a connection between the two. The righteous are to reject the counsel of the wicked, and the wicked to be rejected from the congregation of the righteous. The sound play hints that these may be the only 2 options in life. Opposite directions, feature number 3. The words reshach, wicked, and ashrei, happy, have opposite sounds. Just as the sounds are reversed in these words, the idea is that happiness, as in righteousness, and wickedness are complete opposites, and their paths head in opposite directions. Here's a visual depiction of the two. The yellow indicates every set of sounds like ashrei, and the gray indicates every instance of rasha'im, rasha meaning wicked. Note that the poem starts with one and ends, with the second to last word, with the other. These, then, are the top 3 poetic features for Psalm 1. The first is the constant reminder of the journey imagery, especially with the sound of footsteps. Poetically, this is a recurring reminder that every decision, either following the advice of the wicked or, alternatively, following the instruction of the Lord, is an additional step in the direction of one's destination in life. The idea of one's destination, in either success or perishing, is the key motivation the psalm provides that following God's instruction is worth it. The reader thinking, what I'm doing in life right now doesn't count, is prodded with every step, step, step reminder. The second, no standing, leaves no middle ground for being part righteous, part wicked. The righteous do not stand with the wicked, and the wicked do not stand with the righteous. The third, opposite directions, comes at the same idea from another angle. The very use of the opening word, ashrei, or happy, may have been chosen to set up this contrast between the happy one, whom we associate with the righteous group, and the wicked, which are direct opposites of each other. This has been the top poetic features for Psalm 1. Thank you for watching. Please go to cdbr.org if you'd like any further information. Thanks. Goodbye.